This part of the Going Home series is called Nothing in the Cry of Cicadas Suggests They Are About to Die. This tale reading contains SCP-4799 and SCP-049. Be sure to read these SCPs and watch Part 1 and 2, and 3 for the full context of the tale. This part of the Going Home series is called Nothing in the Cry of Cicadas Suggests They Are About to Die. This tale reading contains SCP-4799 and SCP-049. Be sure to read these SCPs and watch Part 1 and 2, and 3 for the full context of the tale. The crew of the Mariachi's Merchant sat within the cramped confines of the command room. Everyone was on edge, with Logan listening intently at the door. Scott leaned forward, intently stroking his flowing mustache as he listened to Tort's reasoning. Tort, for his part, had run a cost-benefit analysis based on what Shock had told them. His head was ducked down in his stress, and combined with his tall backpack, it made his resemblance to a tortoise unmistakable.
We simply can't risk keeping it here with us. The files Shock took from the Proto-Paragon laid out pretty clearly. It's just too unpredictable. The fact we've locked ourselves in here, or more accurately, locked it out there, speaks for itself.
The entity expressed considerably more interest in the state of Logan's health than is warranted for someone of his physical condition. Peeped the robotic voice of Blair from within her bird-like robotic body. Her eyes shone with blue fluorescence. Logan shuddered, his unblinking, horrified stare thankfully obscured behind his ever-present gas mask. He'd been listening intently, not to the conversation, but to the slight occasional noises coming from outside. It was still walking around out there, no doubt trying to find its way in. Seventh sat silently, stroking his scraggly beard, and turned to look at Logan.
Why don't we just drop him off at the wannabe Paragon? That's where he wanted to go anyway.
The freaked-out guard offered. Terrence spoke up, the giant scowling over two pairs of crossed arms. His voice had all the smoothness and subtlety of a cinder block.
No. They nearly took us out when we went into orbit the first time. I don't want to give them another shot.
Nods. The crew agreed.
It's obvious what the answer is. We shoot it.
No!
Shouted half the room in exasperation. The ship isn't designed to withstand any kind of damage from the inside. If you miss, hell, even if you hit, your shot might...
Right. With the holes in the hull. Don't worry. I won't miss.
Terrence assured them. No. Seventh spoke at last, his squat body producing a voice that filled the crowded room. I won't risk all of our lives, not even on your aim, Terrence. He ran his hand over his mouth, down his shaggy beard. One of us has to have a better plan.
It's obsessed with sick people. Maybe we could find something to lure it out?
Muttered Georgia, more to herself than the rest of the room. Seventh snapped his fingers. Now there we go. Find something sick and pull up right beside it. Let it leave on its own. Shock. You saw some of its victims firsthand. What was wrong with them? What, other than that they were
dead abominations? Shock questioned. Yes. Could you tell if there was anything wrong with them before that? Something that might have made it target them? Hell if I know. They just look like, I don't know, like they were regular people. I mean, they were kind of trying to murder me a teensy bit, so I don't think I can really be blamed for not getting a good look. Shock's voice betrayed just how tired she was.
No one's blaming you, Shock.
Georgia told her, reaching out to pat the top of her head. Shock would have bitten anyone else had they tried, but Georgia was too pure.
We just need to figure out how to fix it.
So what? We just drive real slow between universes with door open and see if we stumble across something it likes and jumps at? Got questioned, less than convinced. Georgia blushed, looking down, away from everyone's eyes.
Maybe my idea isn't the best, but you guys will come up for something for sure.
No. I think we're onto something. Shock's ears shot up in excitement as she spoke. I mean, I recovered a lot of data on this thing. Blair, can you analyze everything you can find about its victims and see if you can piece together a theory? Maybe we can find a good place to start looking. Blair beeped an affirmative boop, the light of her eyes shifting to purple, deep in thought. Seven gave a hopeful sigh, turning to face his controls, gripping them tightly. He would be ready to move as soon as they had a target. In the tense silence, they could all hear it, knocking, probing the walls. They jumped at the sound of a sharp metallic hit. Blair snapped back to Blue, her synthetic voice almost seeming triumphant. Based on compiled information, highest likelihood of discovering an effective lure exists at a death ritual within an area of reality displaying moderate to severe malleability, projected 68.1% probability of success. Shock, Tar, and Scott exchanged brief shrugs and swift nods, seeming to find this a chance worth taking. Seven was already busy, finding an appropriate reality.